a little different than my usual gameplay videos. Of course, there's still going to be gameplay on there because I don't yet have a decent setup to record and post videos other than going through my PS4. So, anywho, topic of this video is, of course, the United States of America's Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The U.S. Constitution is, of course, supposed to be the United States' bedrock law. All other laws supposed to be either subservient or, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not in conflict with the Constitution. However, we have quite a few laws that are in conflict with the Constitution because, well, government and government types don't care anymore about the Constitution. They give lip service to it, but they don't really care. So, anywho, one of my favorite bits of entertainment slash education was a bit that an American comedian named Red Skelton did in 1969. And in his bit, he told of a lecture that his science teacher, or social studies teacher, I don't remember which, gave, where he explained the meaning of the Pledge of Allegiance. Later on, when I go back to edit this, kind of, I'll include a link in the description to that bit that Red did, in case you want to check it out. But anywho, as important as that was, I think it's equally important to do something similar for something that I find even more important than the Pledge of Allegiance. That's the Second Amendment. Now, the words of the Second Amendment go, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." You have lots of people throwing out their own interpretations of what that means, but they don't actually seem to understand the words of the amendment themselves. So I thought that I would help out with that a bit, with explaining what the specific words meant and mean. Because what the founders intended was for the people of the country to be able to defend themselves against the government. And in order to defend yourself against the government, you gotta have access to the same things the government has. But that's neither here nor there. So, sorry about the sigh. I'm still not used to running around on the screen and just reading off the top of my head. Or not reading, but, speaking off the top of my head. So I'm kind of going to read something that I wrote a while ago, where I explained the meaning. And hope you guys get some enjoyment out of it, maybe? Or learn something new? Anywho, so the first word of the Second Amendment is A. We don't really need to explain what the word A means, because pretty much everybody knows how to use it and what it means instinctively. The next two words are well regulated. Now, this is where a lot of people get hung up. What the heck well regulated means? Well, simply put, it means properly functioning or working correctly. It doesn't mean having regulations or rules or anything like that. It simply means works correctly or properly functions. Next word is militia. It's another one that people get hung up on. A militia is simply an army or some other fighting organization of non-professional soldiers. That's the really important part. Non-professional soldiers, citizens of a nation, or subjects of a state who can be called upon for military service during a time of need, as opposed to a professional force of regular full-time military personnel. In other words, every able-bodied citizen who's capable of fighting is a member of the militia. Traditionally, that meant every male who was of a certain age and able to fight. But nowadays, we're more egalitarian, so we throw ladies in there too, especially if they want to. Next part is being. We generally know what the heck being means. So we'll skip over to necessary, meaning absolutely needed or required. And well, militia is pretty necessary and required. Especially if the professional military says, fuck the Constitution, we're going to do as we're ordered to do by our paymasters. Next two words are to and the, and both articles are also easily understood. So then we want to go to security, meaning protection, freedom from, or resilience against potential harm or other unwanted coercive change caused by others. Of a, we know what the heck those two words mean. They're also commonplace. Free, meaning enjoying personal rights or liberty. And I don't know about you, but I kind of like the idea of my personal rights and liberty being free. State, meaning a nation or country. In this case, the United States. The, another article that goes without needing to be explained. Right, meaning a just claim or title, whether legal, prescriptive, or moral. Two, and again, we don't need to explain that one. Keep, meaning to hold or retain in one's possession. Next word is and. Pretty much everybody's familiar with that conjunction. Bear, meaning to wield, own, or use. Arms, meaning weapons, including, but not limited to, guns, cannon, artillery, and tanks. Weapons. Shall not, meaning an imperative command to never or must never. In other words, do not. Be, and of course we're familiar with be. And the final word is infringed, meaning to encroach upon in a way that violates the law or rights of another. So, slightly less awkward way of doing this is a well-regulated, properly functioning or working correctly militia, an army or some other fighting organization of non-professional soldiers, citizens of a nation or subjects of a state who can be called upon for military service during a time of need, as opposed to a professional force of regular full-time military personnel. Being necessary, meaning absolutely needed, required. To the security, meaning protection, freedom from, or resilience against potential harm or other unwanted coercive change caused by others. Of a free, meaning enjoying personal rights or liberty. State, meaning a nation or country. the right, meaning a just claim or title, whether legal, prescriptive, or moral, of the people, meaning the citizens of the United States of America, to keep, meaning to hold or retain in one's possession, and bear, meaning to wield, own, or use, arms, meaning weapons including, but not limited to, guns, cannon, artillery, tanks. Shall not, meaning an imperative command to never or must never. Be infringed, meaning to encroach upon in a way that violates law or the rights of others. This is our most important right outlined in the Bill of Rights. It's the most important of the amendments, because without the right to keep and bear arms, without the ability to prevent our government from stepping all over us by force of arms, the government can and will do precisely that. I mean, hell, look at places like North Korea, for example. They have no right to have weapons of any sort, and they are starving to death to the point where they raise dogs for food because they can't really get any other kind of meat. Or look at China. Hell, better yet, look at Hong Kong. They don't have the Second Amendment, so China is able to do whatever the hell they want, and are currently trying to do whatever the hell they want to maintain their control over Hong Kong. Because they can't fight back, not really. All they can do is march. And, well, if you've paid attention to China recently, all the marching in the world isn't doing them a lick of good. They need to be able to fight, to kill, for their freedom. Because freedom is worth giving your life and taking others' life from them to defend it. So, to wrap this up, this awkward video, I'll once again reiterate. The Second Amendment says, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. There is no word except in there. Something to keep in mind. Anyway, hope you liked the video. Hope you learned something new. And if so, leave a comment. If not, leave another comment arguing why or why not. Anywho, talk to you later.